Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into one of the most forgotten dungeons in the entire game, the Enigma Temple. I will show you how to complete it, what rewards you can earn, and why it might be not as bad as most people might think. As with all my other videos, this one is primarily based on Metin2's wiki page for this dungeon. Everything I share here is already available there, so you can check it out for more details. I will also leave a link to the page in the description of this video. So, without further ado, let's hop into the video. The Enigma Temple was introduced back in update 22.0, so it is still relatively recent. Most players only ran this dungeon to complete the battle pass back when it was still part of the game. Other than that, it's largely been ignored, either because players are not interested or simply because they are unaware of it. The exception here are the Onyx players, since this dungeon plays a key role on their server. The truth is, the Enigma Temple actually offers some pretty interesting rewards, but we'll get to that later. First things first, let's talk about the treasure scrolls. These are used to reveal the hidden entrance to the Enigma Temple. There are 3 difficulty levels for the dungeon, and, accordingly, 3 types of treasure scrolls: tiers A, B, and C. Each scroll lasts up to 3 days and can be obtained by defeating bosses close to your level range. Tier C scrolls drop for players between levels 75 and 90. Tier B scrolls for levels 91 to 120. And Tier A scrolls are exclusive to champion level players. Here is an example of a Tier B treasure scroll. As you can see at the bottom of its description, it shows a map name and coordinates. This is the location of the hidden entrance to the Enigma Temple. This location is randomly generated when the scroll drops. In this case, the entrance is in the Nefrit Bay, but it could just as easily be in similar maps like the Gautama Cliff, for example. This location info is usually highlighted in green, but some scrolls display it in blue instead. The only difference is that blue highlighted scrolls offer an increased chance of gaining access to the dungeon's bonus level, but more on this later. Now, let's go over how to enter the dungeon. You can start the Enigma Temple either solo or in a group. If you're in a group, only the group leader needs to have a treasure scroll. To activate it, simply right-click the scroll. To use it successfully, you need to be on the correct map and relatively close to the coordinates shown on the scroll. If you're too far away, an arrow will appear to guide you towards the correct location. Once you're close enough, you will be able to activate the scroll, and the rest of the group will receive a pop-up message allowing them to teleport into the dungeon as well. Upon entering, you will find a green portal in front of you. You will need to wait 1 minute before you can interact with it to begin the dungeon. After that minute, you have an additional 4 minutes to start. If you don't, you will be teleported out. Once the dungeon has started, you can remain inside for as long as you like. The only way to leave is to either complete the dungeon or die and choose to respawn in the city. Moving on. Interacting with the portal will trigger the start of Phase 1, which is pretty straightforward. You will need to defeat several waves of monsters until the Enigma Sharon appears. Once you take him down, an Enigma Metin stone will spawn. Destroying the stone will cause 2 portals to appear at the top of the stairs. These will lead you into Phase 2. Phase 2 works a bit differently, as there are 2 possible tests you can complete to move on. The first test requires you to defeat waves of monsters until the Enigma General appears. If you clear all the monsters and he doesn't spawn, you will need to restart the phase by interacting with one of the 4 green portals located at the edges of the map. You may need to repeat this process several times until the general finally appears. Once you defeat him, Phase 2 is complete. The second test is much simpler. All you need to do is destroy Enigma Metin stones until you find the real one. Once you destroy the correct stone, Phase 2 is also complete. Regardless of which test you got in Phase 2, once you complete it, an Enigma reward will appear. Destroying it will cause 4 portals to spawn at the edges of the map. You will need to choose one. If you pick the wrong one, you will be teleported out, and the dungeon run ends here. But if you choose the right one, you will be taken to the bonus level. You can stay in this bonus level for 3 minutes. Here, you will find 8 aligned bonus Enigma rewards, corresponding to your dungeon's tier. Breaking them will grant various rewards, depending on the tier. They also respawn every few seconds until the 3-minute timer runs out. Now, here is a quick overview of the loot you can get from these bonus Enigma rewards. If you want to see the full list, you can check it on the wiki page linked in the video description. If you're in a C-tier dungeon, rewards include diamonds and lower tier gems like ebony, pearl and white gold, to name a few. In a B-tier dungeon, you can receive lucent yellow power shards, diamonds, and higher value gems like Heaven's Tier, Emerald, Ruby, and Garnet. Finally, A-tier dungeons offer some of the best rewards, like lucent yellow power shards, diamonds, demon stones +4, shimmering seashells, golden herbs, dark jadites, and horse skill chests. Keep in mind that each bonus Enigma reward can only drop one item at a time. Regardless of whether you reach the bonus level or not, the first time you complete the dungeon in a given day, you will receive a treasure chest through your mailbox. This chest corresponds to the dungeon's tier and can be opened multiple times. The C tier and B tier chests can be opened 3 and 4 times respectively, but the rewards aren't anything extraordinary. The most notable rewards are probably the Heaven's Tier jewelry +6 and some level 70 weapons +0, which you can feed to your pet. The A tier chest can be opened 5 times, but it's not particularly special either. The most notable rewards from it are the horse skill chest and shimmering seashells. Now, let's talk about one of the most interesting features of this dungeon, the Enigma Temple bonus buff. At the end of the dungeon, regardless of whether you reach the bonus level or not, you will always be awarded a buff or progress towards the buff, depending on how many players were in your group. If the dungeon was completed by 1 to 3 players, everyone will receive 25 points of progression. If it was completed by 4 or 5 players, you will receive 50 points of progression. If it was completed by 6 to 8 players, you will receive 100 points of progression. The progression points last for 24 hours, and the goal is to reach 100 points. The progression is cumulative, meaning, for example, if you want to complete the dungeon solo, you can run it 4 times to earn the 100 points. Alternatively, you could just do it once with 7 other players and everyone will get 100 points at once. Once you reach 100 points, you will automatically gain the Enigma Temple bonus buff for your character, corresponding to the dungeon's tier. This buff lasts for 7 days. You can track both the buff and your progress towards it at the top left corner of your screen. Each character, under the effect of this buff, will receive a bonus chest of the corresponding tier upon completing certain dungeons. For the C tier buff, you will receive a C tier bonus chest after defeating Azrael or Beran Setal. This chest can only be opened once and may contain either an Azrael chest or a Beran Setal chest. For the B tier buff, you will receive a B tier bonus chest after completing a Zodiac run or defeating Jotun. This chest can also be opened once and may contain a Jotun chest, an Aurelian treasure, or an Aventurine treasure. Finally, for the A tier buff, you will receive an A tier bonus chest after defeating Queen Nethys or Alastor. This chest can only be opened once and may contain either a Serpent treasure or a light white dragon chest. Note that even though the buff lasts for 7 days, it will disappear after you complete one of its corresponding dungeons for the first time. Well, that wraps it up for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to share them in the comments below or in our Discord community. The link is in the video description. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content. Also, make sure to check out my other videos and my Twitch stream, which I will also link in the description below. There, you will also find an invitation link to create your own Gameforge account. If you're interested in playing Metin 2 and supporting the growth of this channel, feel free to use it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.